Hello, I'm Phil Beardmore and I give expert impartial advice to householders like Alistair and Gabby on energy efficiency and renewable energy.
Our house was built in the 1840s and it's a solid wall construction and generally was a bit of a leaky bucket.
We're taking a whole house approach, so we're looking at from foundations up to the roof and what we need to do to the property to make it as efficient as possible and as warm as possible whilst making a family home for us. So yes, at the moment every room in the house is gutted.
This has been a great opportunity for a whole house approach to energy saving. Sometimes people will have limitations on what they can do. Sometimes people will want to do one thing at a time. A whole house approach is a phased approach with short-term, medium and long-term measures. And so there's always something you can do in the short term, and then there are other measures that you might be able to do in the medium term, and I'll advise each householder accordingly. What you can see here is the first phase of external wall insulation. There will be other phases of external wall insulation to ensure continuous insulation across the whole house, and continuous insulation is the important thing. What Alistair and Gabby have gone for is a mixture of external wall insulation that you can see here and internal wall insulation, which is currently happening inside the house. And people often do that on older houses so they can preserve the external appearance of the front and sides of the house.
Our energy performance certificate suggested that we insulated our suspended floor in the living room, so we chose to do that as a DIY job, and we added effectively loft insulation between the joists to insulate our floor.
I've done some thermal imaging today on their external wall insulation, which shows that it's working effectively to prevent heat loss.
So this is our new air source heat pump. For us it was important to move away from our gas boiler because we think that's the right thing to do in the 21st century. It was quite a financial outlay for us, but we hope that it will pay back in time, and there was also some grant funding towards this.
There is a lot of interest in heat pumps. The key to getting a heat pump is the design of the heat pump, and so I helped Alistair and Gabby to choose an installer that we were confident would design the heat pump properly. A heat pump is not like a gas boiler. It runs at a low temperature to give a constant background heat, and the insulation will help to keep the heat in the home so that it will adequately heat the home on a cold night in winter.
I think I probably would have had a nervous breakdown if it hadn't been for Phil being on board. He's very patient, he has obviously an absolute wealth of knowledge and has really guided us throughout the whole process, and yeah, I think we would not have been able to start without Phil's advice and recommendations.
It was great having Phil to give us some advice. He'd suggested things that we'd never even thought of.
We face a climate emergency. If you want to make your home more energy efficient, tell me what makes your home great, and I will work with you to come up with a strategy for saving energy in your whole house that will save you money in the long term too.